scholarships. That's for a roster of 35 players. So COVID expanded the roster. It's almost back to 35. This year it can be a little above 35. It's a little tricky this year. Basically, however many kids you had on the team when COVID happened that are still on the team, you can have that many over 35. If that makes sense. So we only had 2 guys, and it had to be on your team, not like they were on junior college team or they played for UIW and now they transferred here. No, how many on your team when COVID happened that are still on your team? So for us, it's just 2. That were on scholarship. So for us, it's just 2. So we can carry 37. Next year it'll be 35. So again, 11.7 scholarships, 35 guys. You guys know this. Those scholarships are getting chopped up. Nobody, at least for me, nobody's on a full scholarship. In fact, in 19 years, I've only offered 1 full scholarship ever. So again, I think y'all know that too, but you're dealing with partial scholarships. So a typical scholarship, at least for us, is somewhere around 25 to 40%. But there are guys on a little more. Most people, us included, we tend to recruit the middle of the field first. So pitcher, catcher, short, second, center field. I say that, I don't want everybody to call Coach Quillen and say, get him out of, no more left and right field. Center field only. Like, I'm just, sorry Coach if you get those calls, but it's good if they play a little bit of everything too. That is a big deal. If they play some second base and left field, like that looks good. Obviously from a coaching side, flexibility is a good thing. So we see a kid who can play second and outfield. It opens doors in our mind, because if we got a great second baseman for 1 year, he can go to the outfield. Stuff like that's good. Versatility is good. Wrote some notes. Let's see what else I got. So a big question we get a lot is, what are you looking for? Obviously that's a open-ended question that's subjective, but to break it down as best I can, we're looking for 5 tools. And then I'll tell you about the tools, and then within those 5 tools, we need to see production. Production matters a lot. So we do look at the high school season. We watch the summer more and the fall, because just like everybody else, we're playing in his high school season, we're playing. But we do look at what they did in the high school season. Were they productive? You know, on the high school team, do they bat 9th? That worries us a little bit, right? Or do they bat 4th? Again, I don't want you to call the high school coach, but the part about the high school season that matters to us is that coach isn't getting paid by you, right? Like Coach Quillen's an awesome coach, but at the end of the day, you're still paying him. If I call somebody about the Lobos or anybody, like in the back of my mind, I always think this person is getting paid by the player's parents. So I got a rule with my staff, we always at least call the high school coach. What's he like for you? What's he like in the classroom? Do his teammates like him? You know, sometimes especially in San Antonio, we're recruiting multiple guys from the area. We'll ask other players about players. Not so much how they play, but what's he like? Do you like that guy? Stuff like that, right? If 3 people you play against or you play with don't like you, it says something. If it's only one guy, like, yeah, sure, we get it. Not everybody likes each other. You start hearing multiple bad reports on a guy, you can add, 2 and 2 usually equals 4. So anyway, be a good person off the field. The academic piece, which I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, is good for you guys to hear. Those academics do matter. You can add in academic scholarship to the athletic scholarship and stack it. If you ever hear someone's getting a full ride in baseball, it's almost always stacked. Academic money and athletic money. Probably the best advice I can give you guys is know your grade point average. A big red flag to me, and my staff, I'm sure, we call a kid, we talk to a kid, we say, hey, we like you playing good, so you kind of check that first box. We think you've got some of those tools, right? We're interested in the person now. And I say, what's your GPA? And they say, I don't know. Red flag, bad sign, right? Because that usually means it's not good. If you had a GPA to be proud of, you would know the GPA. So I would rather hear the low GPA. If it's low, it's low. We would rather hear that than I don't know. Because I don't know means you don't care. If you don't care when you get here, that's a headache for me. That's more babysitting I gotta do. Right, Mr. Beard? We don't like to babysit. We like to coach and play baseball. So know your grade point average. Okay, if it's a little low, you say, Coach, it's a 2.7, but I'm gonna get it up. My freshman year wasn't so good. It's on the way up. That's awesome. That's good enough for me. But anyway, you guys kind of get that side of it. Back to the tools. 5 tools we're looking for. Arm strength, which obviously can be measured with a radar gun. We also measure it across the infield just on a scale like a pro scout would, 2 to 8 scale. Foot speed obviously can be measured with a stopwatch. So those 2 tools are measurable, right? The big time running for us, UTSA, is home to first. So you guys will probably run a 60 today. When you go to showcases, you often run a 60, and that's a good gauge. Again, people ask me why a 60. I don't know. We've been running 60 since I played, but way before me. And I never understood it. The most important time to me to see if a kid's speed plays is home to first. You want a time below. If you get below a 4.4, you hit a ground ball today and you run like hell and you're out. When we look at the watch and it's a 4.31, that opens our eyes. That's a good thing, right? That speed also plays on defense, so people don't always realize. One of those other tools is defense. So you have arm strength, foot speed, defense. That's a tool. To be a good defender, you need those first 2. You need arm strength and you need foot speed. So defense also obviously gets into catching the ball and throwing it accurately. So that's your 3rd tool. Your 4th and 5th tool are both hitting. One of them's more of a projectable tool, as in bat speed or power, right?